I have a couple of NBA hot takes for you guys that I'm sure you're gonna react to in a rather strong manner, but that's okay. My first hot take. I want to see if they just won before against the Hornets. I missed the very end of the game. Oh, they won. Oh, the Kings are down by almost 20 points. Okay, here's my first take. The Sacramento Kings are gonna make the playoffs.
Hmm.
That's my hot take. That's the first one I have. What do you guys say?
I mean,
Make the play in.
They're
yeah,
going
are
to
you
be a
saying
playing team that makes the playoffs.
okay? They're going to be a playing team that makes the playoffs. I mean, the way the Lakers have looked, so they're not looking that well. I think the Clippers and Golden State will get it figured out, and they'll definitely be in the playoffs. I don't think I'm going to get any arguments from either of you two. I think Utah and Portland are really fooling us. I really do. I don't think that they're real. Um,
Damus.
no, yeah, I'm not going to
He's hurt right
disrespect
now, but
Dame.
Dame
Yeah,
looked like his best
yeah.
version of himself to start.
Um, as a bottom end team, yeah, no, I don't think you're that crazy because of the way the Lakers have looked and that they can steal a spot in there. I don't think that's too crazy though.
Yeah, I can't say that's crazy. Well, it is a hot take because any casual might just look at the Kings' history and say, "Oh, you're just yapping." But when you actually look at the West, I think maybe there's a legitimate chance.
Oh, we should mention, yeah, San Antonio 2 at 5-2. That's not going to keep continuing. I don't think that.
We
Yeah.
do owe the Utah Jazz an apology, which I'm going to get to in a brief moment, though. So
There's
De'Aaron Fox left this last. Oh, well, little fly.
yeah, a little gnat just flying around my Mario hat.
That might be kind of like how the Canes are flying underneath the radar. So De'Aaron Fox left this game tonight with right knee soreness or right knee bruise, and he's got the game at 9 minutes in. When I look at the Sacramento team, fellas, the Kevin Huerter trade so far has been a massive hit. 26 points tonight, and when you add in three wing players who can all take over a game, maybe two, not Harrison Barnes, and Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter, so goal loss a bonus. DeMontis is just going to elevate those wing players, and I think De'Aaron Fox this year makes his first All-Star team. They do, though, need to make one move off the bench. So that's the first one. You guys, we're cool with it. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Best Amp. When it comes to sports betting, Best Amp is changing the game. You want to maximize your return, and with the Best Amp app, all you have to do is download it and sign up on their different affiliate sportsbooks, and you can see all the best odds given straight to you in one single place. The visual tools are very helpful, and by the end of the year, you can use it for accounting. You can get all the analytics that you'll need so that you can bet like a pro. Be sure to use our referral code at WiseGuys, WISEGUYS. Thank you to BetStamp for supporting us, and as always, back to the show. The second is the Utah Jazz are the perfect model rebuild. This is how teams should build. With Danny Ainge, what he has done is prioritize building a culture and identity they can build upon then through the draft. And it's much like the Boston days where he trades KG and Paul Pierce, an absolute high point in their value at 37 and 36 years old. And in spite of the league kind of trending in a direction of tanking, he actually doubled down on veterans who are undervalued that could build a culture. And then when he had those Brooklyn swaps, he turned that into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the other order, and had those young players earn minutes. They didn't just have them handed to them in a losing environment. They had to earn those in a place where it was a playoff team, and you had to fit in line with the culture being cultivated, and that started with an elite head coach in Brad Stevens. The Jazz this year have surprised literally all of us. Their young head coach and Will Hardy has done a great job with his team, making them defend when they don't quite have the personnel. They're actually playing a game right now I haven't caught. But what this Utah team is doing is competing. They're playing together, and most of all, they're having fun. It's a joy to watch. I'm going to ask you guys, are the Jazz building the right, perfect way? This is how teams should do it.
The one thing you said that really sticks out to me is fun. That's when you're just playing with house money and you're just going out there to prove that, hey, I could stick around in the NBA. You're playing with a young team, a lot of guys that just want to stick around for a while. And it's Danny Ainge saying, okay, who's going to be a part of this for the long haul, because with all those draft picks, you're going to have this is going to be probably the youngest team in the NBA for a very long time. You're gonna have so much young talent coming in. Um, I think it is a great way to rebuild. And like I said, I'm gonna highlight that word fun because guys are going out there just to hoop. And that's I think what's dangerous. You're not going out there overthinking, you're just going out there playing ball. And I love that.
Yeah, not gonna get any arguments from me. I don't see how that was a hot take, John. I mean, it's worked. It worked in Boston. Shouldn't really doubt it working in Utah. My whole thing was that it's just they're not now. They're for the future. So it's hard to evaluate them now when their team is probably going to look very different in a couple of years. I should say, John, they are blowing out the Grizzlies by 23 points right now at the end of the third quarter.
Larry Markkinen has 28, which
Yeah.
is insane. This is back-to-back games. They lost to the Nuggets, but they started the year off by beating the Pels, the T-Wolves, and the Nuggets. And now you're beating the Grizzlies back-to-back. Not only are they building the right foundation, but they have found a lot of really good young players. Larry Markkinen is probably the most notable one because the way he is competing this year is so much different than what it was last year in Cleveland. Defensively, he's been buying in and he's running in transition, really changing his game. He's not making a lot of three-point shots, but what he is doing is attacking the rim with a purpose and a physicality. And I think the Jazz found one key building block in him to go along with a few other young players in Colin Sexton, O'Shea Abaji, and Walker Kessler, I like a lot. And with the way Jordan Clarkson's been playing, he's been playmaking, being more of a facilitator, competing defensively. You have veterans who are really setting the right example for these young guys to then develop and really learn. They're not going to be handed minutes. Colin Sexton was coming off the bench to start this year, and as was Taylor Horton-Tucker. They didn't actually start until Mike Conley, a sage veteran that is well respected, gets into foul trouble, and next thing people know, those young guys are stepping in admirably and actually outperforming Conley, and it's really setting the perfect culture in Utah. So those are my first two hot takes. The last one, fellas, is the Miami Heat or a first-round exit?
So what now?
Your Miami Heat B-Cap or a first-round exit?
Do you have a team that they're going to lose to in the first round? So what are you saying? They're going to be like a 7th or 8th seed and they're going to get bounced? Or
I had them being as they were my 5 seed. And initially, my number 4 seed was the Cavaliers, number 1, 76ers, number 2. The Bucks and the Celtics were tied as my 3 and 4 seeds. So they're going to play one of those two teams. And honestly, that series could get ugly the way it did in 2021.
so you have them being like a 6th or 7th, 8th seed then.
I'm saying they're going to lose in a 4-5 matchup in like 5 or 6 games.
Against you said like a Cleveland.
Milwaukee. Cavs are my
Like
number 1 seed.
Milwaukee. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess, but no, I mean it depends on the matchup. I mean, yeah, if they do face a Milwaukee or a Boston, that's going to be tough because those are the two real top dogs in the East right now. But if they face a Philadelphia or a Brooklyn or even a Cleveland, I have faith that we can beat them. And I don't know if this team is going to be is what it is currently constructed by trade deadline time. So I can't make a full, uh, concrete opinion on that. But no, it depends on matchup. I mean, obviously any team, it depends on the matchup. But yeah, I would favor them over more teams than I wouldn't. The only teams that I probably wouldn't favor them over is Milwaukee and Boston. And with this team that we have now, which is basically the same team that we had last year. And I know they added Brogdon, but we took them 7 games. So anything can happen. I believe in Jimmy Butler. I still think he's a top player in this league. Rough start to start the season, but again, it's the start of the season. I'm not too worried about it. So
A 2-5 start where, guys, I hate to say it, but Kyle Lowry really does look like he's cooked. And he's had some personal issues, which I will acknowledge we don't know the details. But the Heat must make a move because they've already been passed up in the Eastern Conference. And there's one player that I really like for this team. The issue is he is kind of injury prone and has had a lot of knee issues. But when it comes to a bona fide prolific scorer that's going to give you 25 to 20 and 30 a game, it is Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls.
No, stop right there. Nope. He's not the guy. Not
Why
going to
not?
work. Not going to happen. No, he's not. He's not a number 1 guy on the team. So no.
is Tyler Hero.
No.
Hero, I'm going to give him credit, has really tried more defensively. But, dude, he's been getting bullied still in some of these matchups. Whether it's a
fine.
Keegan Murray or a Steph Curry, he's been getting cooked defensively
Zach
in
LaVine
many
is
of
not
these
the guy.
games.
Zach LaVine is not the guy.
Is
No.
Bam the guy? You need somebody, and Zach is probably the most likely one in my eyes.
No, because you're just trading for a guy that can give you, high prolific play, but he's not going to be that guy. So no. And no, Bam is not going to be that guy, but it's somebody else out there. It's not Zach LaVine.